Marvel coming out with their Agatha show right before this, that's like MCU suicide. There's no comparison between the two. Y'all, this is like Goodfellas in Gotham City. I never thought that I'd be rooting for the Penguin like this. Like what? So we got the first episode of The Penguin. Colin Farrell knocks it out of the park as Oswald. This is a show that really humanizes the character more. He's not quite the kingpin we all know and love to hate just yet. He's still working his way up. Just like the Batman was at the beginning of his career, Penguin, this is him at the beginning of his career, working his way up. The start of this series picks up a week after the events of the Batman. After the floods and Carmel Falcone dying, there's a power vacuum in the criminal underworld and Oz wants to seize control. First things first, it was so cool to be back in this universe. This show brings us back to the Batman crime saga universe with some parallel shots and just the feel of Gotham. This Gotham City is so alive. This is what I liked about it in the movie. This feels like a Frank Miller type Gotham City, living and breathing. It has to be my favorite version of the city in all forms of adaptation because this feels like its own thing. It doesn't feel like just some generic city. It doesn't feel like New York or Chicago. It literally feels like its own thing. This feels real. We were introduced to Alberto Falcone, who is kind of a pompous asshole, and because of that, Penguin cuts his screen time short. In the comics, Alberto was actually the holiday serial killer in Batman The Long Halloween. He was underestimated by his father Carmine and not allowed into the family business. But he was very smart. Not only was he on a year-long serial killing, but he even faked his death at one point so he wouldn't be suspected as Holiday. We were also introduced to his sister, Sophia Falcone, who is hella creepy, man. This bitch is literally fresh, straight out of Arkham. Sophia was also in the Long Halloween comics, but in this show, she is freaky, like disturbing and very smart. She is not the one to be played with. I really like the dynamic between her and Penguin. She was like constantly pressing him, but he was able to think on his feet. Matter of fact, I like the dynamic between all the characters and how they showed how smart Penguin really is. Half the time, he was 3 steps ahead of everybody, and when cornered, he was quick, able to think on his feet and plan ahead. He meets an ally in this named Victor who tried to steal his car, similar to how Batman first met Jason Todd boosting the tires off the Batmobile. And after Batman met Jason, that same night, later on that night, he took him out for burgers. And that mirrors Penguin and Victor. They went out for burgers, which led to a really hilarious scene where Penguin realizes they shortened him on pickles.
Ask for extra pickles and they give me 2. So what, a normal amount of pickles is 1? Makes no goddamn sense.
That had me cracking up. As someone who eats out a lot, I could totally relate to his frustration. That was so hilarious to me. They form an uneasy partnership, and I like the relationship between these two. It's just starting to build, but so far it's really good, and you can tell it's gonna be really, really good in the future. This whole episode was really good and crazy. I couldn't believe Sophia just killed a kid like that with no hesitation. Yeah, this ain't some woke nonsense. This isn't some bullshit. This is exactly what I hoped it would be. This is part of the crime saga. This is Goodfellas in Gotham. This is what TV should be, especially when we're talking about like a superhero series or a superhero spin-off series, whatever you want to call it. This is how it should be. Just good storytelling. This first episode set the tone moving forward. I never thought I'd find myself rooting for the Penguin, but by the end of this, I'd like to see him become a crime boss, sort of like how he was in the Arkham games, particularly Arkham Origins. I really like that version of him. I like this version of him as well. The only thing that sucks is we probably won't see this version have any weaponized umbrellas, and that sucks because that's one thing I like about the Penguin. It's one of the things that make him unique. But like his comic book counterpart, he's funny, he's got charm, he's got the look, that Alex Ross style of the character, It's all good. This was a really strong first episode. They literally came out the gate swinging. I love TV series spinoffs like this that interconnect with the movies. This was so good. I couldn't believe it. And this is just gonna bring us that much closer to the Batman Part 2. So I'm excited for that as well. But let me know what you guys think down below. I'll be here. I'm gonna be reviewing every episode as they come out, just like I did with Cape Crusader. Be sure to check out some of my other videos on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.